Hey, so it says we're live. Let's see what happens. Okay, stand up. Now. All right. 50 people showed up. Huh?
Yeah.
57 people are here to be disappointed. That's amazing. All right, I'm just going to keep one headphone on. Cool. So this is amazing. We got it to work without Damien's help. He's going to watch this in a hotel in Norway, and he's going to be like, we figured. Do we sound okay, y'all? Hello. Oh, we got it. Oh, yeah. So we got to figure out how to do the chat. So we got to go to my YouTube. And then there's like, oh, I know what we do. Go like this. Go to the website. And we click on the top part here. So you click on the title of the YouTube. You have to mute this quickly, otherwise it will play ourselves. There we go. There we go. Look. Sounds fine.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Awesome.
Chat. Okay, cool. Prepare to be disappointed, everyone. Sounds better than Damien. I sound like I need to switch the settings on the Yeti. I think it sounds good. I don't know. I mean,
sound like Damon?
I think I mean Damien. I don't know what to do now. All right. So Damien's not here, everybody. It's the ASP.NET Community Stand-Up. We have Dan Roth.
Hello.
Hello. We could probably do Australian accents, but badly. Damien will probably laugh at us.
Yeah.
Good day.
I would laugh at me trying to do an Australian accent.
Indeed. This episode of the Community Stand-Up is brought to you by Coke Zero.
And Doctor Who.
Do you know that when I do my Azure Friday show, they literally make me cover the Coke bottle because they're afraid that I'm advertising for them? Like you're all going to rush off and buy Coke, Diet Coke, immediately upon learning Diet caffeine-free, sugar-free. I'm just saying. Cool. All right, so this will not be too long because our core is not here. But I was talking with Dan about the announcements repo, which I think maybe people don't pay enough attention to.
They should, because that's where we announce all our stuff.
Yeah. So I thought we'd spend a little bit of time there. What does Daniel's T-shirt say? It says, "You never forget your first doctor." It's got a Doctor Who there, so enjoy that.
I watched Doctor Who.
Put on a fake Aussie accent. I can only do it when I'm alone.
Let's hear it. You have to do it now.
I was in Australia actually for a week and a half with my wife and kids, and my 9-year-old picked up an accent, not a perfect one, but he started asking for brekkie, which is breakfast apparently. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then when your 9-year-old is walking around going, "That's not a knife," it's like you're not Australian there, son. Why are you talking like that?
There you go.
It's completely inappropriate.
You heard it here.
So yeah, cool. So Dan says
they want to know where Galloway is.
Oh, Galloway is. I think he's also at NDC.
Oh, is he? In Oslo?
In the Oslo. Let's see what he says. He says, he chatted me somewhere around here. Yeah. Hang on. He said,
stand-up core. Nice. Nice, Mr. Adams.
Is this stand-up core?
That's what Mr. Adams is saying.
Cool. Yeah, that actually probably would be. So let's share the screen and then let's talk about that for a second here. See if we can make this poor little computer work harder than it needs to.
Folks that don't know about the announcements repo, like it's just a normal repo in the ASP.NET org. We use the issue tracker there to make announcements about the major changes that we've made in the product, new features. If there happens to be a breaking change, we announce it there. And then Damien recently started posting our product plans there, like the milestone plan for Preview 2. he had published there, and he's been making updates to it as the milestone progresses, because we are in ship it mode.
Yes. So the ship it mode that we're in, it's preview 1, preview 2 until what? Until release, or until we decide that something's not a preview and we decide to call it a beta like a normal person?
So we don't. There's no plans to use the alpha beta term. So I will interpret for you. I will translate.
So it's preview until RC.
Actually, no.
We're going to go all the way up to.
So RTM is going to be is the plan to be the next release after preview 2. So preview 2 is actually RC quality.
Oh, okay, good.
Preview 2 is our feature complete release candidate release. That is the plan.
Okay.
So this is a big deal. So if you haven't been trying out the bits, preview 2 is the time to really try them hard.
Exercise them.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So if you go to GitHub/ASP.NET and you come down here, you've got MVC and Entity Frame. We should probably rename that, because it really is just it's not just MVC, right? Because MVC is not a thing.
It is
right?
MVC.
It's web API. It's all it's not a brand.
But those all come out of the MVC packages. It's kind of a brand.
It's a brand forever.
Like we
no matter what we
talk
say,
about
it
in
will
our
always be a
docs.
brand.
It's like there's an MVC node in our docs, but it is part of ASP.NET Core. Like it's part of a unified website. I think what you're pointing out is that it's not like a separate sideshow like you might.
Right. It used to be its own thing. So here it says announcements. So you should go to announcements, and you should watch this one.
You should watch it. Yeah. Yeah.
And if you scroll down in announcements here, this is team announcements, and we discuss. And we're suggesting that you go and watch it. And if you can go down here and filter by milestone, we should probably add that there.
Preview 2 might be a useful link to add.
You think we should do that?
Yeah. You should add it right now.
Let me do that right now.
Yeah, we're gonna fix that.
This is me doing open source.
So the README, edit.
Are you holding my hand while I go and edit a markdown
we're
file?
We're extreme markdowning.
Yeah.
Downing.
This is exciting. We're doing the open source. This is going to allow me to keep my somewhat light green. all my stuff is from internal stuff. I don't know if it I get counted for that. Preview 2.
Of course, like any good open source contributor, you just push directly to master like this.
Could I do a pull request?
No, just
really
make it so.
Just commit.
I reviewed it. It looks.
You've
great.
reviewed it.
Yeah.
Ship it, squirrel.
I'll try the link and see if it actually works.
Yeah, really. Now we test it.
Beautiful.
Did it work?
Yeah, of course it did.
Look at that.
It's awesome.
It's open source. I just compiled some code. No, not really funny. Yes. Thank you for hijacking what MVC means to all of us. Does NDC ever end? That is what I said to Scott Hunter. I said, where's Damien at NDC? And I said, again?
Yeah.
How many NDCs are there?
There's just 2.
He's at NDC Omaha. There's London. There's Oslo. There's Sydney.
Oh, there's Sydney too.
Yeah, every 20 minutes there's an NDC in another town.
Okay.
Okay. So what I did here is I said, find issues that are open that have the milestone preview 2. You can also click that here and see the different milestones. If I go and say 2.0, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we shipped preview 1. So preview 1 is what people
already works with the latest preview of update 3 of Visual Studio 2017. So yeah, that's already available. Preview 2 is what we're working on now, and that's effectively our RC release.
Okay, so what is the format of these announcements? I see some scary breaking changes.
So you should treat it just like a feed. Like as things change, as we announce things, we just publish a new issue here. The ones that are marked with breaking changes are specifically things that are breaking changes in code that would impact code. So like, for example, you saw that the EF core changed there. They had recently decided that they were going to go ahead and target .NET Standard 2.0. I believe they were targeting an older version of .NET
Let's go look
Standard.
at that. That might be interesting.
So
that's an announcement. So this is a really good point, actually, that you're making here, Dan, is that there's a lot of people watching a lot of repositories. We should all just go to our notifications in GitHub, unwatch everything, and only watch the ASP.NET announcements.
Yeah, you could.
There's
that would
give
you the filtered feed of the highlight feed,
right.
I guess.
It's the developer's RSS feed of what's going on. So if people find this stressful, if they find watching an hour of us jabber, just read the announcements feed.
Sorry. Now,
right.
normally the announcements do get locked. Like the intent is not to have discussion here, but there's typically a discussion issue that gets opened up along with it.
Got 2 stages. He says here there's 2 stages, and you can go and talk about this target and that target. Here they're going to go and say cross compile for 1.4 and 2.0, and then they're going to remove 1.4. So then they're talking about why they're doing it.
Yeah, there's the discussion thread at the
end. And he locked it.
So if you have concerns about this change, for example, or like, want to know about workarounds, get feedback, you would go to that issue, and that's where you would post your comments, and just so that people listening to the announcements repo don't get a lot of noise. Like we're trying to keep this repo to be just the highlights, as we said.
Okay. So if we go back over here, breaking change, I saw something. This is an interesting. This is not breaking. Razor View Engine does case insensitive lookups. Yeah, you got to think about file systems and OS differences for case sensitivity around Razor lookups.
Yep, that was a big piece of feedback that we got from folks, so we decided to make that change. I guess it's not technically a breaking change because it's 2.0 specific. Is that just, I don't know, maybe
I could feel people are happy about it though. Feels breaking to me.
Within the release, though, might be.
Within the release, it is not breaking. Within your brain, it might be breaking.
Semantics.
Yeah.
But
well, let's look at a real breaking one though, right?
Yeah, we can. Like, I mean, the 2.0, not Net Standard 2.01 that we looked at for EF Core, that was definitely breaking.
What is this here? I know Microsoft Net HTTP headers. It's going to use string segments. So all the subtypes have been changed from string to string segment.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not familiar with string segment.
So that's a performance optimization. String segment allows us to do some.
Is that a new thing? I don't remember string segment. That's not a BCL thing, is it?
No, that's something we.
Oh, it's a struct. Oh, so this is some low-level bit of
Curious if Ben Adams is happy with that change. Is that a thing he's like?
Yeah. This is some kind of low-level thing that is very likely. Let's go and see if we find Ben talking about it. There's David. It doesn't allocate a heap object. Yep, that's what I was going to say. It's a struct, so it's just sitting there doing its thing. All right, that makes sense. But if you're digging around deep, it could break something.
Yep. Messing with those header types directly.
All right. So the most important one, though, the one we'll talk about for a little bit right now in the time that we have, right?
Yeah.
Is this one here. And
planning issue.
It's a checklist one. It's got a little checklist here. Now this is when we started the planning. He put that in like a month ago, right?
We had gotten a lot of feedback that people wanted to participate more in like what we plan to do and the decision-making process for a given release, a given milestone. And so we're trying to be as transparent as possible about what we're intending to do, and then updating this as things get done and as plans change. Like we are in ship it mode, we're trying to lock down preview 2, and so some things did actually fall off not just the milestone but for the release. So those have been highlighted here as well.
Mm-hmm. So
but the .NET Framework support is in.
Right,
so
he says roughly in priority order.
Yeah.
Doesn't include everything, but it's a general roadmap. This is not done yet. That's because it's not checked, right?
It should be done at this point. I think Damon just has, because he's been on it,
hasn't
actually checked it. But
not my place to check it.
We're at this point right now in the release of this milestone, where we're pretty much think that we have the final packages, and we're entering into like a verification and validation stage where we are doing a whole bunch of testing based off of those packages. There may be some additional builds as issues come out of that verification pass, but we're pretty close. And all the work for updating to support .NET Framework has been done. So if you're using the packages from our, at this point, it would be our release feed, actually, I think, or the dev feed would have it as well. Those packages should have full .NET Framework support.
And then Kestrel readiness for Edge server, that's happening as well?
All that work should be done.
Yeah. So he'll go and check that. So Damien, if you're watching, check that box.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes though, you have a strikeout, like for example here, adding more identity options to Razor Pages project template.
So that just means like today, if you go do a file new project, create a MVC, ASP.NET Core application, you get all those options for configuring authentication.
Right.
We totally intend to do all those same options for Razor Pages based templates,
but not for preview 2.
And so, and actually, I think for the release of the plan is that we will just ship with no auth options for that.
Okay. So when something has a strikeout, should I freak out, or should I just think that it's the next Is it cut forever and all time, or is it just cut for this release?
In general, it's just for this release that we've pushed out a bunch of functionality to the next. We plan to release about every, I think we're saying about every 6 months. So we'll ship sometime in the Q3 in the summer. 6 months later, you could expect that those features will be revisited as part of that next release.
I just had an idea. We should make a Twitter account that tweets just the next milestone for .NET and ASP.NET.
Sure.
I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll do that. That's a good idea. Maybe someone on the chat here, because this person here says they're like now Googling for how to do that. See, goes and looks for a sane way to get RSS feed that goes into Twitter. We'll figure that out. And yeah, that'd be cool, because you just want to know if your favorite feature, the thing that you're counting on, is going to be coming in the version that you want it to come on.
Yep, that makes sense.
Another thing I thought would be interesting to do, just briefly. Again, I say briefly because we don't have 90 minutes. We can't do Q&A. We've got your shipping. I've got a meeting in another building. We can't spend a huge amount of time with y'all.
It is Stand-Up Core.
It is. This is Stand-Up Core. Exactly. Yes. So I'll make a folder called Dan is here, and I've got .NET. What's that?
I thought it was a Danish folder initially, but
it's Danish here. This is a daily build, I think.
Yeah.
So it's a daily build of Preview 2.
And that looks like the latest one.
Is that the latest? I got it a couple days ago.
Yeah, I think that's the latest
All
CLI
right,
build that you can get off of the CLI. But when you go to if you want to get specifically a Preview 2 CLI build, there's an extra step you have to do now. Like, you want to make sure you're looking at the 2.0 release branch. So if you go to github.com/.net CLI, you want to switch from master to the 2.0 release branch, I believe is the correct one. Okay, release 2.0, sorry, got it backwards. And then this will update the README page to have the correct link to give you the,
because
the Preview 2 build of CLI.
The README itself is it's on its own branch.
Yeah, so it looks like 6391. I think that's what.
Okay, so 6391. So I've got the Preview 2 current right now.
That's currently what it is. Yep.
And again, if you type where.net, it shows up there.
There'll probably be still a couple builds of this guy, because I think there's still some template changes
to
make it in. But this is.
I just want to remind people, you can see me messing around. Here's my LTS versions. Here's me goofing around. There's me 2 days ago at 9 o'clock at night, getting this version.
Good man.
Here's the reminder. I'm in an empty folder called Dan is here, and I type .NET new console. And I'm going to look at that CS proj. And it says 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
So I panic because I don't want 2.0, because I have
not
a job.
overjoyed.
You're
like, wow, I've got all this new functionality now. Better performance.
You've ruined everything. I want to make sure that I can make older stuff. Okay, there's a couple ways you can do it. The first way is people are going to want or are going to think that they can maybe go like this, and put in like I want like netcore app 1.1 or something, and then you might get an error about that not being okay or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's because you're on 2.0 and it doesn't have the 1.0 templates, which you in fact can go get if you want.
You could go have one installed.
It's like .NET. It's actually the templates that you need. So I usually say just .NET install Hanselman, because that way I can find myself. Just put Hanselman after all of your chat, all of your Google things. So what I did, where is it? Where's my installer? I just Google for myself and failed to find it. Oh, God, I failed it. It's .NET install, and I want specific templates for 1.1. Actually, I put this in a, this is proving the fact that I've told people that this sucks. Finding this is too hard. I want to be able to type in I think Mike Lerbetsky did them. Darn it! You're looking at me. You're looking at me like I'm an idiot. Hang on.
I always use the latest.
No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
Or the other technique that I think you're going to talk about. Use that.
Yeah, I'll show. The other technique is easier. I just wanted to show you all the you can install the 1.0 templates on Core 2.0, but there's no good way to search for generic words like this.
Is it from a repo or from like
no,
a Mica feed?
No,
or...
it's a feed.
There it is.
There it is. It's this. You know about this? So you go and you say, you're on .NET 2.
Yeah.
And you say, I want
the
1.0 templates.
Yes.
You have them already. Now, this is the part that's a little confusing. You have them. I have .NET 1.1 already. But if I want to be able, but not for the 2.0 SDK.
Yes. Okay.
Right. So I can go and say, give me the templates for 1.0 in the 2.0 universe.
Now, what is it?
It gets them from NuGet.
So that's a package,
it's a
right?
package,
a package ID,
right?
And it's saying like which
so
versions you want.
So now it's added those. So now I can go and say Net Core App 1.1. Was it 1.0? Now it makes me look dumb.
Net Core App framework.
Did I spell it wrong?
Is it? There's no dot. No, there's a dot. Isn't there? Is there a dot?
Well, now it's embarrassing. Does this not work anymore?
I don't know.
Okay. It's all falling apart, Dan. I can never remember.
Are people correcting us on
the dash framework? Yeah, I'm sure they probably are. Yeah, let's go see what people are laughing at me because it's supposed to be a master plan.
No,
they're not laughing at me. They just
useless.
They just left. They just left. That's all. The point was, and this is, I'm trying to figure out what the right way to do this is. And by the right way, I mean for users. I think that command is too baroque.
Yeah,
it's too complicated.
They get that package. Like that package, I didn't think those were on NuGet.org. Is that on?
Yeah,
NuGet.org?
they are. I promise. So
that's on NuGet.org.
Let's go see. Let's go see. I'm 90% sure. I wrote a whole blog post about them, and I made them work. Yeah, see?
NetCore App 1.0.
So this might be interesting. We may have broken this for Preview 2.
Possibly.
So I may have actually found a bug, which is even better. Okay. So like star. I don't think they really install.
Yeah, I can't. It's hard to tell, right? Because they're the IDs that show up in the list are the same.
See, it's saying that didn't work.
Yeah.
So those templates are supposed to be in template engine.
Okay.
See? Yep, I think that's broken for Preview 2.
Like you're supposed to have 1.1 template sitting in here.
You're supposed to be able to go. You're supposed to be able to do just that. What I just did, this one here, and grab those. So what I think that means
is that literally the package ID as 1.x?
Isn't that weird?
Is it X in the package ID?
Oh, is that what I did wrong?
I don't know.
That's interesting. Maybe I did that wrong. But I pasted it from my own blog. I copied and pasted it directly into production.
1.x.
So you're questioning the wisdom of naming something 1.x?
I'm just questioning if that's the actual package ID. Like, can we find it on NuGet.org? Like, we should be able to just go to NuGet.org and search for that package ID.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a MyGet feed where all the templates are built out of the .NET templating repo.
Right.
And I know there's a MyGet feed that those get pushed to.
Who owns this?
Who owns the package?
Yeah.
Microsoft.
No. Like the human being at Microsoft.
Mike Lorbetsky, the templating engine man himself. So there's a separate feed that has that has them on MyGet, and I'm wondering if you originally had got them off of MyGet. Actually,
well, when I did it before, Mike told me that they were out. See, and this is the point. This is what I was trying to show unsuccessfully. Is look,
that does work.
Like that's it's a really cool feature.
Yeah.
You just have to put the templates on.
Can we find the?
I bet I broke
templating.
it.
Can we find the templating feed? Go to .net.myget.org/gallery.
.myget.org/gallery.
Okay.
You think it's in the custom thing? I've got those.
And search for like templates or something. With a P. Yeah.
See, there's Mike. Yeah,
so these are the daily builds.
See,
there is a 1x. Look at that. You're right.
See,
it has an X in its name. That's hilarious.
Okay, good. See?
So I'm
You're making me feel bad about myself.
no. The only question is like, is
All
this? I didn't see this on NuGet.org, and I had asked Mike actually about this morning. If
Maybe
if
he
these
just didn't
packages
put it on
actually
NuGet.
do get published in NuGet.org.
Okay.
And what he had told me is that they weren't.
All right, so that's fine. So let's go to my NuGet,
Conf
which is down where here.
config,
Where is that NuGet conf anyway?
like the top level one.
Yeah, yeah, the one for everything.
I forget. I always do it through VS because I'm lazy that way. You can always just create one.
Yeah, I don't create one. It's NuGet.config, right?
Yeah.
It's
A
usually
lot of them.
the top level one. Like if you go and say
Is it under program files?
NuGet, isn't it under program files?
If you do restore it.
No, there it is. It's right there.
Oh,
App data NuGet.
there you go.
App data NuGet.
With no dot.
Yeah.
Okay. Now.
All right, look at this mess. This one here?
So that's the .NET Core one, but that's not the templating one. The templating one was like.
Oh, okay. So to be clear, this I'm 90% sure this is supposed to be pushed out to like actual
The real feed.
You know, one of the feeds. But it looks like
maybe we can get it to work. Let's see if we can get it to work with this feed.
Okay.
So you'll want to grab the actual that thing. Let's try. Added another line with like templating. Okay, let's try installing them again. Your previous command, I think, looked right. Like, with the 100 stuff. Yeah, that one.
You didn't know about this?
Uh,
it's a useful thing.
I knew you could install templates this way. What I didn't know was whether the 1x templates. Yeah, the 1x template stuff I didn't know you could do. Yeah. You could get them like this.
See, I don't know if like that really worked. So there's
try it. That's the console one, right? Still doesn't work. Did it not? What version is it?
Well, let's do it, Dan. Let's do what he said, which is ask for it by name.
What is can we see the version list on the, because like your filter, like when you install it, you're putting like a version modifier thing with 100.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I'm saying.
You're saying 100-star. What's
100-star. He's saying 100 beta.
Oh, I see beta 2 on there.
Yeah, it should just work. .NET.common.project templates 1.x. Well, I'm going to try this one. I'm going to try it like this.
Beta. Why is it beta?
Well, let's install package. I don't want to do that. Yeah, it's PowerShell. That sucks. That one.
I even CLI. Look at that.
Isn't that nice? MyGet's so nice.
They're on top of it.
That's lovely. Not find any project. Oh, that's because he wants to add it to the package. I don't want to add. It thinks it's a NuGet package and not a template.
Yeah.
So here's a bug for them. I mean, templates are special, so I can't actually do that way.
Well, that last .NET dash.
Okay. So
work.
I'll talk to Mike.
Yeah.
We'll go find him.
Okay.
Ignore everything I just said. It's interesting, but don't sweat it. Everyone else is like, what's going on? Here's the right way to do it. Okay. I'm in an empty folder.
Yeah.
I have a thing on my desktop that I made that I called global.json. I named it global.j. The reason I named it global.j is that I don't actually want it to affect anything from that point down. Okay. I've seen people, you know how when you accidentally git init in your like app data folder or your user home, and then you spend like weeks wondering like why you have sub git folders.
Yes.
Don't put a global JSON somewhere high up. It'll mess things up for everyone else. So I just put a global.json here. Okay. Now if I open it, it's asking for a specific version of the SDK.
Right.
Right. So now this is the way easier, better way to do it. So now I go like this. There's 103.
Mm-hmm.
If I come out, 2.0.
Well.
If I go back in here and I go .NET New Console, I don't need to worry about any of that other stuff. Come in here and look at that. See?
Boom.
Works just fine.
That's what I do.
So that's the nice way to do it. The point is that I failed to show, but because I may have, I'll just call Mike, and Mike will probably just say, oh yeah, I didn't publish that to whatever. Having a global.json lying around is convenient. And of course, applies from that point down.
Yep.
That's why I named the one here global.j. I just keep it around when I want. One other thing to point out about this is that that version there needs to line up with a version that's installed here.
Yes.
Otherwise, it'll roll
Yes.
forward, or it'll be.
You need that string to match one of those folder names.
Right.
So I
which is
often will
really
go
interesting.
find this folder and like copy one of those folders.
Because look, I could even go back to an RC.
You could.
Right? So we can go like this.
RC4.
Yeah.
Wow.
RC4 is quite old. So I'll go to Dan is here. Oops, I want the global JSON.
There you go. Back when things were
so the global,
young and unafraid.
The global, yeah, exactly. The global JSON is like a super useful thing to this day. We should remember, especially if we are doing this kind of work. If you want a certain version of the SDK, and the point that I was trying to make unsuccessfully before was when you type .NET New, the templates are versioned, right? So when I type .NET New, I can see that I'm in the .NET SDK, so I'm going to get .NET 2 stuff.
And we'll figure out what we did wrong there and can post some steps someplace.
So if for example, you wanted to be really hardcore, and let's say that you put 2.0 on your machine, but you didn't want to mess up your company's projects. Maybe those projects are off in C : my company projects. You could put a global.json at the top level of that says, I want all this, the SDK for all versions from here down.
Carve out a little tree.
A little tree for your work.
In that particular, for that particular version.
Exactly.
I'm running more last.
.NET Runaway. Thank you. So helpful. Getting a feed requires auth? I don't think so. It wasn't an auth thing. I'll go call Mike and figure that out. Oh, there he is. So I was trying to do what? This one.
You're like initializing.
I'm initializing the RC3. Oh, there he is. Come here. Hey, buddy.
Welcome to Standup.
We're on the Standup. We're live right now.
Oh, cool.
Hey, quick question.
Hello, everyone.
So we were trying to show the this feature, going project templates.
Yeah.
But it didn't work on preview 2, and then I went and I edited my NuGet.config. Are they not out on public NuGet yet? Okay, so they're not on public NuGet yet. Okay, so that's cool. So that's what we thought. So I went and made a app data
NuGet.
App data NuGet. And I went like here. Templating, baby. Right there. Doesn't need auth, right?
Yeah.
It does need auth?
Oh, sorry, no.
It doesn't need auth. It's out there in the open internets. Okay, so I did that. And I'll go here. So we were on .NET version, we're in, preview 2, right?
All right.
So when I go like this, I know I could probably type it faster. Okay. Oh, it says 1.0.0 star. If we look at the myget, it said beta 2, right?
Yep, that's
cool. Right. And it says it's been downloaded a million times or whatever, but not that version. See, 0 downloads for that version. Okay. We go like that. Is it supposed to do something here?
Yeah, so right
is there any
downloading the actual NuGet package?
So we think it's doing it.
Okay.
I think it's doing.
Okay, now where does
seems to be doing something? Like
it's thinking, right? So while it's doing that, I go over here to templating engine. Where does it put them?
So in terms of the internals, if you go in this top folder here.
Yeah.
And then in packages.
Yeah.
It should be right.
Look at the date. See, nothing came down.
That is correct.
Is it because there's already something here?
I don't see it. There's no 1x anything there.
It didn't seem like that pulled anything.
Yeah, it should be looking for that package.
Okay, so we know they should appear there. So the question is then, if I go 1.0.star, that should be enough. It's in the right feed, right?
Yep.
So I can look at this feed. Is it some kind of query thing? I can't really go digging for it. How do I debug that? Because they're not getting downloaded.
That's something we've been struggling with, figuring out what the right.
Fiddler.
Is it .NET dash I or is it .NET
It's
install?
It's
dash
I.
I.
Yeah,
dash
that
I,
looks
dash
right.
dash install. So while it's working, you'll actually see stuff pop in and out of. If you go up a couple levels in your Explorer instance here. So up to the .NET, up to the .template engine folder, there will be a folder called Scratch that pops into existence.
Okay, so let's go and see if that happens.
I think it's, oh, wait a minute, it might be inside. Yeah, go inside there, inside the 6391. In Scratch, yeah, beautiful. So that's the project it's using to actually do the restore. Pull that stuff in.
Curse my slow fingers. You catch the scratch.
It's totally cheating.
You like that? Get to know me.
Different snapshots.
I mean, I could go and run a half dozen debugging tools as well, but you know. Did that one use the right? Yeah, so there's your. Notice that that's 1.0. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, it just needs to put something so it pulls it down on those packages that actually have a TFM on them. So,
okay. Was I supposed to catch it with more than that?
Well, that should be.
That's
should
right.
really be
It's got the right package reference in there for the.
And it uses the right NuGet. And that shouldn't be 2.0.
That should not be 2.0. No.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, running .NET Restore on any one of those guys should show us specifically where it's looking.
Yeah.
So if I go and take one of these now.
Yeah, just dump it go into one of those folders or dump it into a folder or someplace and
stick it on my desktop.
Yeah.
You like
I just
that?
beat that on Saturday.
You just beat it? Don't tell me what happened.
Amen.
Game ends. Oh, it doesn't. It's a jerk. Yeah, look, see? Ah. Look at this, you guys.
Oh.
Okay, so this is great. This is super interesting. Hang on a second. I want to go back over to our friends to see if they're still here watching. This is so interesting. No, it's not me. I did type .NET new. I know what I'm doing. The issue is that, look, local host. Okay, so if that's not me, this is not you. It's not you. It's me.
Yeah, he's got some weird feed on
I've got some weird feed. It's almost always my fault, as Damien says.
Well, there it is. Local
See,
NuGet
look.
example.
Wow.
So I've got a local NuGet example, which means that it was spinning through stuff. Now, at the same time, though, I'm curious why that's a problem.
Because if
I would have assumed it to find the first one. It has to try them all first and reconcile them.
Yeah, it wants to have a fully reconciled restore, and that includes using all the feeds that you have configured. So if any of those like fail with like a 4.4 connection failed, then the whole restore fails.
So I'm removing that local NuGet.
You had a local feed like hosted on your machine?
I had it marked as active package source, which is also suboptimal. We live in interesting times. Can I just delete this whole thing?
Sounds safe.
Yeah. Yes, you can.
Because it's going to just
looks unrelated to anything. Yeah. It's a package source.
Make sure that we've got an undo buffer.
Well, we don't have an undo buffer. Undo is restore the machine from scratch.
Boom.
All right, so let's go back up here. Okay, so empty.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm excited.
Okay. .NET new console -- framework netcore app 1.1.
And it's just that simple.
So now, to be clear, notice that it called restore automatically. I'm doing a 1.0 app with the 2.0 SDK.
How did that happen?
So-
How did that work?
That's Mike. That's Mike's
So we
job.
updated all of the templates, including the one.
That's why Mike's
Including the one ones to do that.
Isn't that great?
Because I thought it was just a post action, right? Like, and all the templates we just do a restore
our
as a
heads
post
are-
action.
Take a.
No. No, I'm on film.
That's what he looks like.
That's Mike.
If you see this guy walking down the street, you can say, "That's the templating
the
guy."
template.
He knows all the templates.
So that was super interesting. So that was super weird internal debugging type stuff. So there's a folder called Scratch, but the problem was my NuGet restore never could have worked, which makes me wonder how it ever worked ever on anything else before, because it worked just fine.
I don't know.
It's been working fine on all sorts of projects, but a thorough NuGet restore indicated that my false one. That also makes me think about a larger bug, which would be transient errors across NuGet feeds, right? If you've got n number of NuGet feeds, and one of them is down, or a DNS lookup, or a 500 error, you could have weirdness. Something like that happen.
Probably .NET New-I could use maybe a little more output.
Just a smidge.
Just a little bit.
Just a smidge, like
Yeah.
any.
Right.
If you had dumped that exception to me, is that you? Do you own -I?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be cool.
Yeah, so we've that's definitely one of the things. We haven't done that one yet, but it's definitely one of the things that we should do, because that would have saved a lot of time. The thing that we're actually working on actively right now is trying to figure out if we've found a template but failed to install it, and then telling you what we found, what we didn't find, what's actually going on. It's part of the install process. So we've gotten a lot of commentary on.
Yeah.
I'm trying this out. It doesn't seem to work. Why?
Mhm.
And then it's always this arcane debugging experience.
So here's some comments from people online. This one guy says, Tim Hewer, he works for us. If there's a problem with NuGet in the past I've had before, any fails in any feed, and the whole thing bails out.
Yep.
That's a valid point. Someone said, yeah, this is another very valid point. Chad is saying he fears that the story would negatively impact those new to .NET.
Wow,
True,
these are preview
but
bits.
try npm install sometime.
And these are preview bits, like I would point out, like the templating engine we're talking
But
about.
I think
here,
here's the
things
real
about it.
issue, right? Ideally, .NET, and what Andre is saying here is .NET.exe. He means the larger debugging. From my perspective, if you -- verbose or -- debug, neither of those things exist. You should be getting just exquisite and ongoing console-based debugging for all things. So
Absolutely.
debug information would have saved me a lot of time. See, there you go. Shane Boyer also works for us. CLI needs -- verbose. So interesting stuff. This whole thing started, by the way, because we were trying to showcase your awesome templating. I mean, seriously, like that's why this happened. And yeah, couldn't get it to work. But now we know that it was not your fault.
Sweet. Well, not that couldn't get it to work, but it's good that we came to a resolution and we know how to improve that experience.
So yeah, there's two bugs there, or two features there. Lots of debugging. Even that one dropout would have made enough information for me. That one exception, and the second one would be what is the behavior? More of a behavioral question. If you've got n NuGet feeds and one fails, because if you allow it to continue, you maybe didn't get something important and then boogered up your package dependencies.
Yeah. Yeah, because of that behavior, you really need every time a restore happens, you can't just silently restore. You always need to have some output about like what happened.
So that's more of a NuGet thing. Cool. All right. So now this is the part where we end the show and we do it with the dramatic zoom out. Have you done the dramatic zoom out?
I've seen it.
It's horrible.
Zoom in.
Problem is
Zoom in.
we have such a short room here. It's
Okay.
only like a couple of feet.
Do I need to move up?
By the way,
or-
everyone, this is our room. This is the glamorous, wonderful room that we have here. That's it. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the dramatic zoom out,
we call it our studio.
and we're going to start on the TARDIS. Okay.
Tom Baker, by the way.
Tom Baker.
Tom
the,
Baker.
the original doctor. Okay. Here we go, everybody. Dramatic
We can
zoom
puff out if
out.
we're gonna be-
We have a jingle. Dramatic zoom out. It's so dramatic. Thanks, Mike.